The Black Business Council is accusing the City of Tshwane of stifling black business after the city introduced new rules disregarding waste collection trucks. The new regulations stipulate that the trucks cannot be older than 9 years old and have reportedly led to the municipality dropping about 60% of its old contractors whose vehicles did not meet the standards. Kganki Matabane is the Black Business Council CEO and joins me now to give us their perspective. Mr. Matabane, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. So the recent regulations by the City of Tshwane stipulate that waste collection trucks must be newer and also roadworthy. How do you assess the economic impact of, especially on small black-owned businesses who were affected by these changes?
Good afternoon, Ntanza, and good afternoon to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. The principle that we have is that we are against any tricks or tactics that are trying to find ways of excluding black people and ignoring, in the main, ignoring the history that we have. We are 30 years into democracy, but as you know, black people still own less than 10% of the economy. Black people are not necessarily running the economy. We're almost administrators of the economy, but we're not running it. So anyone who comes with regulations should not ignore those facts, because those are the facts. Black people were not allowed to own or control anything in the past. So when you come with regulations and say trucks must be more than less than 9 years old, what you are basically saying, you are saying the black people would be excluded, but only a certain race that has been participating in the economy forever will be the one that qualifies. Obviously, we agree on the roadworthiness, and we know the trucks that have been there are roadworthy. Otherwise, the police will have removed them from the roads. We agree on that, but the issue of the 9 years is discriminatory in nature because it assumes that those trucks have not been maintained. And then the issue of maintenance, a lot of South Africans will be aware of. Eskom fleets are doing well now, besides the fact that they are old, as long as they are properly maintained. So those trucks are properly maintained. There's no reason why they should be removed.
Mr. Matabane, some argue that the new truck regulations are necessary, especially for improved service delivery standards. But how can municipalities balance these standards, especially with supporting historically disadvantaged entrepreneurs?
Remember, when you enter into a contract, there will be agreements, there will be penalties, there will be things that you can't do and then things that you can do. So upfront, you have to say, if I've given you a work to do for the week, if you don't do it, there will be penalties, and that's a normal operating business principles. So any person who will have trucks at the City of Tshwane, they will know that if you don't perform as per your contract and as per your KPIs, you will be liable for the penalties. But we have not heard from the truckers that they have not been meeting the KPIs because of the trucks breaking down. So the argument that they're saying is improving service delivery, I think it's neither here nor there, because the contracts needs to be managed, and not only for the old people who've got older trucks, but it should be managed for everyone. Yeah. Because even if you've got a new truck, it can break down tomorrow, and then what happens? So the City of Tshwane, what they must do, they must just basically manage the contract according to the contract the way it is, instead of changing the regulations and changing the goalpost, ignoring the imbalances of the past. Because what they are doing, as far as we're concerned, is ignoring the imbalances of the past, assuming that all black people will have cash to go and buy trucks, even if they don't need to.
Mr. Matabane, as we wrap up our conversation, I want to stick to the last point that you make. What alternatives do you then propose for municipalities like Tshwane to indeed promote inclusivity in procurement while also maintaining service quality, especially in waste management?
Yeah, I think it's important for any municipality, Tshwane included, when you change or amend regulations, You don't sit in your air-conditioned office and just decide to send. You need to consult. So we were available, we're here. We need to be consulted. They can come to us. We will also go to them. We'll also request a meeting to discuss this matter. But it's important to consult, because if they have consulted, maybe we'll have understood what they're trying to do. But so far, we have not had complaints that trucks are stuck, trucks are not performing. But we hear that, no, they just want to say, when you are old, you are old. So you can't, when we got an older truck, you can't, you're automatically excluded without whether that your truck is still working or not working. So that for us is not acceptable.
Mr. Matabane, very quickly, if you may, the accusation that these regulations disproportionately affect black entrepreneurs has been raised, and you've raised it as well. But what measures can be implemented to really ensure equitable access to municipal contracts?
Is to follow the legislation that we have. Remember, we've got legislation that are trying to redress the imbalances of the past, and that comes from the Section 217 of the Constitution. Follow them, because when you follow the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, it will guide you as to what needs to happen to make sure that you don't indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally exclude the majority. Because if you do that, then you are threatening basically you are threatening the democracy that you have, because you cannot continue to exclude the majority in any country. That's not sustainable.
Mr. Matabane, thank you so much for your time. That's Kganki Matabane. He's the CEO of the Black Business Council.